Hey everyone, welcome to the Davis Flatlands Circuit Race. This was an event put on by the Davis Collegiate team. Did a great job. One lap was about 4 miles, and we did about an hour and a half's worth of laps. So, of course, it was very flat, had some junky pavement on one part, but other than that, it's super wide open. Our race had an early break of two go up the road, and then after that, everybody was kind of scared of the wind, and there wasn't much cooperation chasing. So you saw my teammate Flo was just on the front trying to bridge up, but the fields kind of followed, and so I countered over the top of that and got a pretty good gap here. Um, Out of the worst pavement was on like the bottom part of the map, so like we had just come out of it, and that part would stay a little bit more single file, and then it would bunch up over here. But got my chance to take a run and get off the front. Um, I was looking back at like all of the corners, and it seemed like the field was pretty content with letting me go. So I put my head down here, and I knew I needed to get across this gap. I think there was still like 30 minutes of racing left at this point, so I didn't think could dangle by myself that whole time. I actually did my best 5 minute power for the first 5 minutes of this bridge attempt. I really knew I needed to get there. Um, it's hard to see it on camera, but the guys are like so close. I got it down to about 10 seconds through these corners. You can just see them going through the next corner when I come around that one, but couldn't quite finish it. Around here, I still like felt confident I could get there, especially coming into the more technical sections since it was a little bit slower speed, but couldn't make it happen. I sat off the front for a second lap by myself, so I did 2 laps by myself. But like after the first lap, I was no longer going forwards and I was going backwards. And when the field comes back together, uh, here's Flo counterattacking again. He's got one for company. He gave me a big yell when they were coming up, so I could get on their wheel. But the field was close behind. They weren't going to let this get away. But that's some good team tactics right there. If your teammate's gonna sit off the front, you should be ready to counter over it. So I mean, my move started countering over one of his, and then when I got brought back, Flo was countering over one of my moves. So it's a pretty good tactic when you've got teammates. So this is the section with some bad pavement I was talking about. There's a few really big potholes. Nothing like super crazy, but it was a lot easier to be riding through this section up near the front than it was to be like sitting in the pack. You couldn't see the potholes coming in the pack, and sometimes there was errant water bottles, so a lot easier getting a clean look. Even on laps where like I hadn't just got brought back, I was trying to be up near the front for this section, just to make my life easier, because it also could stretch out, and if the elastic snapped over here, you're just gonna be a little bit of work to bring it back. So here's another counter. That's Alex. He was a marked man all day. Nobody was letting him get away, and no exception here. Everybody is tagging that move. He's been winning a lot of field sprints, so I don't think anybody's going to let him roll away. So everybody sticks that, and you'll see it's all going to just group up and come back together. That's kind of what kept happening. Nothing was really working. Later in the race, I think with like 2 laps to go, one guy did roll away solo off the front, and he didn't quite make the bridge, but he did stay away from the group to swipe 3rd place. So we were now field sprinting for 4th place. And there weren't really any big teams in this race, so this is like maybe 2Ks to go. You'll see we're all the way across the road here, and this guy in pink decides to go by himself. I talked with Flo earlier in the last lap and said I would help him out, so didn't want to let this one guy spoil our party here. Didn't really look like anybody was taking up the chase. Nobody really had teammates, so there wasn't really much reason for people to take it up. So I'm going to lay down some watts here, string out the field a little bit to help make sure that this doesn't stick away. This is pretty early to actually do like a proper lead out, but a part of leading out is making sure that the field is together. So making sure we're all coming into the sprint together here. And you're going to see Alex is going to go on my left side. He went a lot earlier than I was expecting. I think this is probably a whole kilometer to go, but everybody's all over that. There goes Flo. He's in a great spot, and these corners were really fun because you could like watch the finish evolve, so you could see like where everybody was really clearly through the corners. And there's two more up here still where you got to see everyone. But Flo had a pretty strong result, ended up second in the field sprint to Alex. So that was a pretty solid result, especially considering we were trying to like get in breaks all day. Still had a pretty good field sprint. It would have been a lot nicer if one of us had been in that final move, but that move went like from the gun, and we didn't have enough people to cover every single move, so we thought, oh, they won't stick that the whole way, and sure enough, they did. So hopefully next time we can find the right breaks, but still made the most of the field sprint, I think. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more races, everyone. Bye.